just believe in yourself and go with the current syllabus, whatever you're practicing. It definitely adds up to a very good result.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chamomile Tea Toppers and initiative Unacademy. My name is Akshay and today I am going to interview NEET rank 8 who is from Hosur, Tamil Nadu. Let's all welcome Krishna S R from Hosur. Hi Krishna.
Thank you sir, it's a pleasure.
So first of all, how does it feel to get this rank?
So it feels very exciting and awestruck. I mean, it's unreal. Like the day after the result, it's 2-3 weeks I was not able to believe that I was able to pull up such a good score and good rank as well. So it's really amazing, I feel.
That's great, that's great. So we'll talk a lot about your preparation journey and right from your class 11th and class 10th as well, till your exam date. So starting with, before I start this, I would like to know that what's your inspiration to join medical science as a career? Yeah,
so in the initial days, in my schooling days, I had developed interest in biology. You know, as a subject, science amazed me. Like I was very much amazed about the subject and the aspects, the concept that I'm learning. So it was very amazing, and I thought to discover and explore more about it. And even biology, the human anatomy and the physiology part, which I read before the NEET coaching. So it all was like I felt it was very amazing, and I wanted to explore more of it. And the one more thing was that in my family, my grandfather was a veterinary doctor, but still he used to serve a lot. Like in his village, the village consisted of no doctor. He was the only one, and he was the doctor, all-in-all doctor for everybody. So be it animals or humans, so whatever problems they had, they used to come to my grandfather, and such a dedication he had. So I was also inspired by him, such a passion and dedication. Even at the age of 80s, you know, he used to go and do some service. He didn't retire also. So he got retired, but he used to serve a lot in his village. So that was also a very good inspiration for me to choose this career.
That's good. So I take that your favorite subjects are biology.
Yeah, biology.
And biology and?
Biology, physics, chemistry, like basically
all
science.
The three so you like all the three subjects?
Yeah, all the three subjects.
So you took PCMB or only PCB in your college?
I also chose Max, PCMB.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you appear for both JEE Main, Advanced or only NEET examination?
Yeah, I had appeared for JEE Mains, but not for Advanced. Yeah, I had appeared for JEE Mains and also various other exams like KSET also I appeared.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the exam part. So starting from, we'll start with the timeline. So basically, did you start from class 10th or class 11th?
I started my NEET preparation and coaching from class 11th only.
Class 11th?
Yeah.
So in the initial days, were you able to understand all the concepts clearly?
No, in the initial days I was facing a little bit of difficulty to cope up with you know, the coaching institutions, be it or the exams that I was facing, weekly exams. So I was facing a lot of difficulties in understanding the concept as well. So you know, but as the time progresses, as you keep practicing things, I got a good grip of the concept very well, and I also developed my own methodology as well. I realized my mistakes in the exams that I wrote, and also I did a lot of error analysis as well, and also the paper attempting strategy. Also I changed that according to my own comforts, so that I would be able to do it well.
Okay. Yeah. So if I had to speak about the timeline of your preparation, so class 11th, like when did you start NEET preparation? Like the proper and serious study that you started, and when did you complete your class 11th first round of syllabus?
Yeah, so if you ask the timeline, that there is no particular distinct time that from this time onwards I started a serious preparation like that. Okay. So it is basically, for me, it is like, it is a progress that goes more and more serious as you near the exam. Initially it was a bit slow in the initial days, and in the middle of the preparatory session, it was like learning and also exploring more and more things. And in the final revision, it was a little bit, you can say, a little bit serious.
Okay.
part. So there's no particular time from this point onwards. I started preparing very well.
So basically, you started from class 11th, and in the initial days, you were pretty like normal in terms of studies, and then you were not in that level. And so, did you give any attempt any mock test in the initial phase?
Yeah, mock test in the sense as part of the coaching institutions, they had given us weekly tests that has to be written, and also monthly unit tests were conducted. So I used to attempt that, and used to get an idea about how the pattern is, the time management be it, and also like how the questions, the model of the questions, various model of the questions. So in that way, I did not write any mock tests. To be frank, I just followed whatever the schedule that was given.
Syllabus that was being taught in the coaching center. Okay. So did you know about the entire syllabus before you started the examination?
Like I had an idea, it is 11th and 12th syllabus, but I did not know how vast the syllabus would be. Like I did not expect in the initial days. I thought, okay, so whatever is there in the book, I used to prepare. So it was not like, I used to not worry about the entire NEET syllabus. I used to just concentrate on whatever the weekly portions that are given, and the schedule was also as such that you just focus on the weekly schedule, and automatically in the revision days, you will get a grip over the entire syllabus.
Okay, so you did not worry much about the NEET syllabus in all, and you went only for the particular syllabus for the exam, for the weekly syllabus that was taught in the coaching center. Okay, so let's talk about the class 12 preparation. Now that class 12 involves multiple things. One is your board examination as well, and also the complete syllabus of class 12 and class 11 revision as well, plus the mock test and the last few days of the examination. So it's a huge thing. And before we start that, please take a sip of the tea.
Sure.
So during class 12, you kind of finished everything from class 11th, or did you have any backlogs during class 12th?
Definitely from 11th, I had a lot of backlogs. Due to the online classes and stuff, definitely I had a lot of backlogs. I used to cover those backlogs gradually during the 12th preparation, and also I used to cover them during the revision program as well. So yeah, I was able to cover like that.
Okay, so you covered most of your backlogs during the revision portion.
Yeah, revision.
Okay, cool. So now let's talk about all the three subjects basically. So which subject would you like to start first?
Yeah, basically I would like to start with biology, because that is the core for NEET.
Okay.
So biology, in the initial days, what I was doing is, I was concentrating much on the coaching materials that were given. So I used to not concentrate much on NCERT, and the general consensus that every NEET aspirant feels, whoever joined the coaching institute, they feel that NCERT is not that much. It's a very limited amount of syllabus, and you won't get anything by reading NCERT. Like even I felt that. But my teachers and the exam pattern was such that it insisted more on in-depth learning of NCERT. Like even though the syllabus is limited, the syllabus is vast. You have to remember everything. You have to remember line by line. And I remember one of my botany teachers, they told that you have to read NCERT line by line, word by word, and letter by letter also. So everything you have to be, it should be in the fingertips, like basically. So that is the best strategy for biology I would like to give. Yeah, everyone insists NCERT is the best material for reading biology. So later I realized during my 12th preparation that in the revision exams I focused more on NCERT. So, and thankfully all the questions from the NEET exam, they were from NCERT only. So I did not find any question that is extra. You can know extra, definitely knowing extra amount of syllabus is good. Like you can explore various things, and it is also required, right, for MBBS, particularly in this field. I think knowing a lot of extra is definitely required. But what I would suggest is you have to first focus on the basics. The extra amount of syllabus should not be such that it hinders your basics. You should not forget that. You have to revise it continuously.
Okay. Yeah. So we have had a conversation with a lot of toppers, and many of them mentioned that NCERT is the base and they must only read NCERT. And everyone, in fact, they followed only NCERT book, apart from, they did not study any other book as well. So everyone reads NCERT. It's not a new thing for people who study for NEET examination. But what difference did you think you made for the NCERT reading?
So NCERT reading, I read every line in depth. Like I used to revise it. Like I used to read it one day and revise it in a periodic fashion. Like if suppose I read a concept today, so I used to revise the same concept after some 2 days. And continue with the same concept after some 6 days or something like that. So in a periodic fashion, if you revise the NCERT content in a quick, so the revision has to be quick. So basically the reading takes the time, the revision has to be quick. So I feel that quick revision is effective, and quick and periodic revision over a span of time is very effective, and I was able to grasp NCERT by this methodology.
Okay, so basically in the initial phase you read the complete NCERT, let's say a particular topic, you took it for like 2-3 hours and you read the complete book, and you did a multiple reading in the initial reading as well, and then you practice the questions on the same day or the next day?
Yeah, if time spans, I would practice, like basically I did on the same day. Like after reading the concept, I used to solve the questions. Just you have completed your reading, you have to get a gist of the concept and you have to analyze various aspects of the concept. So that can be only possible if you do questions just after reading the textbook, and you might have also missed out some points which you might cover in the questions. So solving questions immediately is what I did.
Okay. So usually people might not remember the concepts the next day. So you read the concept today and then you don't practice it today, and then you read it again the next day, or you try to read it again or try to memorize again, you might not be able to remember it. So what do you say, like what should be the plan or plan of action to read a particular topic?
So in general, if you read a concept, so for me it is like, if I read a concept, it doesn't stay for a long time. It just it's like volatile, because biology is volatile subject, and I won't remember 100% the next day. Like I forget a lot. So what I do is, like the thing is, you have to focus on your revision. Be it like while you're, even sometimes while I was revising, I felt that I read this concept already, but I forgot this. Like it seems like it's completely new to us, but still it is there in your mind, but you are not able to recollect it. So revision helps to recollect the points quickly, and I would suggest this only. Just don't be like demotivated that you're not able to remember this. Like it's a process. You have to follow it over a particular span of time. So only then you can remember the concept very thoroughly, and it should be in fingertips.
Okay. So we have zoology and botany, right? Now class 12, 11th and 12th both. So basically they're like 4 subjects, 4 topics. Now which one do you say is more important for NEET? Among the 360 marks that you have, class 11th is more important or class 12th? And then geology or botany, which one is more important?
I think I'm not sure 100%, but class 11th, I think they are focusing a lot in from class 11th, and class 11th is quite a little bit difficult. The NCERT part, the content is a little bit vast, and the chapters are also in a large number, and the human physiology part especially is very important because that is the main thing that we are going to pursue. So a lot of attention has to be kept on that. Apart from that, even class 12 biology, I think you should not prioritize anything. In case of biology, you should not prioritize anything first and before. Whatever, like there is a possibility that even the chapter which is considered as the least prior chapter, the questions can be asked from that. So, and the marks is also the same. The value of marks is also the same. So I felt that there was no need to prioritize any chapters in general in case of biology.
So we are seeing a lot of assertion and reason kind of questions being asked in the recent days as well. So these are asked more in AIMS earlier. Now NEET also started assertion and reasoning. Earlier there were statements as well, but now AR questions are being asked more.
Exactly.
So how would you study AR questions for biology specifically from NCERT?
So the AR questions that I have experienced, even in the final exam also, so they are basically the direct picked up statements from NCERT only. So it's like, suppose if the assertion is a statement and the reason is another statement, you can find these both statements next to next in the NCERT content as well.
Okay.
So you have to read the NCERT in a fashion such a way that you are going with the flow of NCERT. So if you are reading the statement, any assertion reason, you should be able to recollect whatever is given in the NCERT point exactly. And if the statements are given, like suppose there is a word thus, henceforth, like the words are given in NCERT, and so like you can't feel while reading, you can't feel this is a reason, this is an assertion. For that, you have to practice a lot of questions, and you have to read a lot of NCERT. You have to be in the flow of NCERT. So
okay.
That's the best thing.
So did you, in the initial reading, did you understand that these are the assertion and reasoning questions that you came across, or was it like in the later stage that you got to know that these are the kind of answers and that I need to read this?
No, actually in the initial days I was not focusing much on assertion reason, because be it in the NEET 2020 or 2021 paper, the assertion reason was not that much asked. They have focused a lot in our 2022 batch. So I was not focusing initially on assertion reason in the initial days, but in the later stages, even in the mock test or the grand test that I have written, a lot of assertion reason based questions were asked.
Okay.
And I figured out that you have to go with the flow of the book as well.
Okay.
So apart from reading.
Okay. So you mentioned about a couple of keywords like thus, for, and, right?
Yeah.
So what are the keywords that you would keep in mind while reading biology?
So as part of the keywords, like you can't remember all the keywords because there is a lot of keywords. Just you have to get a feel over the concept. You have to visualize it in such a way that like while you're reading, you have to feel that. So,
okay, so you need to understand the concept pretty deep.
Yeah, pretty
only
deep.
Then you will be
only
able to
then you cannot again assign any mnemonics or something like that, because there's again a lot of syllabus. You can't just remember everything. That is not possible. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Got it. So now that is for biology. Now in terms of biology notes, would you write everything that is needed for the examination, or only things that you would not remember for the exam?
Yeah. So I would not write everything, because I felt that like basically I'm not good at writing that much. So I used to write the key points and the things that I felt was more important, and the terms, certain terms which I felt was more important. I used to just take a note of it, and during revision I used to just quickly revise. But majority, like I would recommend just instead of maintaining notes, like you can maintain notes for remembering the concept, but majority, like what I would suggest is you have to read the NCERT, and that's what I did. In order for revision, I just revised NCERT. So notes for me did not play that much of a big role, I would say.
But reading NCERT again and again would take up a lot of time, right?
Yeah, definitely it would take up a lot of time. I mean, the first time you read it, it takes a little bit of time. The more you read it, you can also improve the speed of your reading, and also you will get the feel over the wordings and the statements that are given. So it just automatically goes into your mind. So that's what I felt.
Got it, got it. So now that's about biology part. Now let's go to the chemistry part. So chemistry, which one was easy for you, inorganic, organic or physical, and how did you prioritize your study for chemistry?
Yeah, so for me, organic was like, I loved organic chemistry a lot. So just like all the reagents, I used to get excited about that. So it was the easy part for me, organic chemistry. Coming to the like organic chemistry also, in the initial days, I was not reading NCERT again. I used to refer a little bit of extra beyond NCERT, like just for my interests, I used to refer that organic chemistry beyond NCERT. And inorganic chemistry, again, it is a little bit of boring subject for any of the NEET aspirant. It is a boring subject because there is a lot to remember, and it was also boring to me. But continuous revision, continuous revision of the NCERT, you have to revise even though it's boring. Once you have revised, and once you are able to remember the things, it becomes interesting. So that's what I felt for inorganic chemistry.
Okay.
So for physical chemistry, you have to personally I felt that you have to practice a lot of little bit of extra questions, because physical chemistry is mainly based on numericals. and numericals are asked most probably. So you have to focus a lot of other extra reference materials you can focus, and even I did that. So you have to just solve the questions such that they are of different models. Like while solving the questions, I used to select the questions in such a way that they are not repeating the pattern again and again.
So different kind of patterns, different set of patterns.
Yeah, there should be a diversity in the questions that you solve, the diversity in the model of the questions that you solve, so that you can get a clearer understanding of the concept.
Okay, so multiple patterns,
multiple patterns,
sets, and you get a format of what exactly are they asking, and so doing a revision of these often will also help you a lot in the longer run.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. So you mentioned that inorganic is a little difficult part, and a lot of people also choose mnemonics to associate, to remember the concepts.
Yeah.
Did you follow the same strategy?
Yeah. So mnemonics, in the sense, I followed for the tabular values, for the trends, whatever that are given, I followed that. Mnemonics. Apart from that, continuous revision only. Again, mnemonics, how much you can remember? Like there has to be a limit in the mnemonics that you remember, because if you are making a lot of mnemonics at that particular time, it might be easy, but in the later stages you might get confused which mnemonic is to which.
Okay.
So again, there should be a balance over that also. So definitely mnemonics is an easier way to put out, especially these trends and all these stuff, and all the, if there are value based things, you are not supposed to remember the values, you can remember the trends and compare it with the other elements or something like that. So
okay. So mnemonics, is it better to make your own mnemonics, or to depend on someone else's notes or someone else's mnemonics and to revise them? Which one would you prefer? I
would suggest both, because if suppose you can try to refer some other mnemonics, and if you are feeling them catchy, the thing is the mnemonics should be catchy, and it should be something that you remember for a longer period of time, and it should be something that you are doing in a day-to-day life, like casually speaking. The mnemonics should be in such a way like that, I feel, so that you can remember it over a longer period of time. So anything is fine if you are able to figure out a good set of mnemonics. It's fine, you can follow your own.
Okay. So do you remember any mnemonic right now that you can speak to the audience?
Yeah, I actually remember a mnemonic from the physics, color code of resistors.
Okay.
So I think everyone knows this. B.B. Roy of Great Britain has a very good wife. So
okay.
Yeah, that is the color code of resistors, I remember.
Correct. So that's been remembered by most of the people.
Yeah, most of the people.
I think. Did you have anything similar for chemistry as well?
Chemistry, I don't think. I don't remember it now, but I have framed mnemonics, a lot of mnemonics.
Okay.
I guess.
So you had a set of mnemonics that you devised later on for the examination.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's about the mnemonics part. So let's talk about notes for chemistry. So basically, there's a lot of information that you need to collect as well. And so how would you make your notes for chemistry?
Yeah. So notes in case of organic chemistry, I'm speaking. So I would just write the reactions briefly, and even the notes that were given by faculties were in such a way that they contain a precise amount of material, not too much writing and stuff, just easy way to remember, like flow charts, diagrams, and brainstorming. So a lot of that I personally do, and I do it because I prefer it during the revision phases as well. So this is not much of writing content, because again you're writing and again you're reading the book. There's no difference that I felt. So like this.
So that also inorganic, and the same, that also organic, and the same for inorganic and physical.
Yeah. Right? So physical chemistry, if you come across, I would just write all the formulas. If suppose they are there, I would just write the formulas, and the brief amount of content I would just write it in a precise manner. And apart from that, there's no need of making any notes, I felt. So I used to practice a lot of numericals apart from that. Yeah.
Great. So let's talk about physics right now. So what was your strategy for physics, and how did you read for both class 10, 11 and 12?
Yeah, so for physics, first knowing the concepts, first you have to listen the class. I listened the classes quite well, and even the teaching was quite good in such a way that you can get a good amount of conceptual understanding. So first I felt that understanding the concept was very important, so I revised, I understood the concept first, and I started to solve basic level of problems, not too much advanced in the beginning, so a basic level of problems. So I started to do that, which were given in my coaching material.
Okay.
And so if I am not able to do any problem, I used to refer the solution. So again, referring the solution, I would suggest that you should not refer the solution before you are reading the question, or just you not read it in such a way that question and solution, you should not read it in that way. So you have to challenge your own mind, you have to spend a lot of time. In the beginning I took a lot of time to solve even the basic question as well, but as I practiced, I got a good area of thinking, and I was able to solve even more number of types of questions that were given.
So did you solve only NCERT level questions, or did you also go for JEE Main as well?
Yeah, so for physics, I personally went because our NEET batch and the IIT batch, they were basically they were in the same campus. So the test series that were given, even I was having access to the JEE test series as well. So I used to go a little bit beyond NCERT for JEE Mains, like for solving various kind of numericals in the JEE pattern as well, because I felt the level of JEE questions that they are asking is a little bit more than what is asked in NEET. And like personally, I like physics a lot, and I like solving different types of difficult questions as well. So I got a gradually I was able to solve even some of the JEE questions that were asked, even advanced questions. Like some of them, I had a very personal interest on them. If I am not able to solve any question, any difficult question, I used to go and ask to the JEE faculties as well. So I had interest in that area.
Okay. So those were for class 11th. Now for class 12th, what were the topics that you felt are very important?
For class 12th in physics, I felt that electromagnetism and magnetic induction, they were very important, and a lot of questions I have seen in the tests that were conducted, a lot of questions were coming from that. So that is more important.
So if I have to talk about a general aspirant for NEET, what kind of problems does they face in terms of these subjects like physics, chemistry or biology? Now let's go with each and every subject. Physics, did you feel any difficulty in the early phase?
Yeah, definitely. So I think most of the NEET aspirants face difficulty in the physics, because all the NEET aspirants, they might have a lot of interest in biology, and physics in the initial phases is like a little bit of hectic kind of thing, solving each and every numerical, and even the calculation, if it goes mistake and it's gone. So I felt a lot of difficulties in physics in the initial days only. Then gradually, as I was able to solve a lot of questions, I developed quite an amount of interest in physics. So as I was solving a lot of more interesting and a little bit difficult higher level questions, I developed a good amount of interest in physics. So that made me to pursue physics very well, I think.
So that was for physics. And what about chemistry?
Yeah. So chemistry in the in the inorganic part, there would be a little bit of passive reading by me. Like I was initially not that much focusing on inorganic chemistry, because of the notion that it's vast to remember a lot of other stuff. So but gradually I was able to develop again. If you have to develop an interest in a particular thing, you have to do it. So I just thought that okay, let me do it, and let me know what it is. So in that way I developed a good amount of interest. Organic chemistry I was interested from the beginning only. So I was able to pursue that well. Again, physical chemistry is a little bit of similar to physics only. Like solving the numericals is the major task. So again, gradually I developed that.
Okay. Now biology was your favorite subject. Now biology, I'm sure you might have felt interesting while reading it, but did you face any challenges while reading biology?
Yeah. So if you read biology is definitely interesting, but you are expected to remember each and every word of the NCERT. So in the initial phases, while I was reading NCERT, like suppose I turn the next page, I instantly forget what was given, the statements that were given in the previous page. I know the concept, so you will get the concept. I remember the concept, but I was not able to recollect the points that were given in the NCERT. So that was the difficulty that I faced in the initial days.
Okay. So how did you overcome that? Like by practicing a lot and
yeah, again the revision. Once you so even though you know the concept, you have to read it again. That's what I felt was the thing that has been done. So you should, there should be no negligence. Negligence in a particular concept that if you know it, you don't read it again. It's not like that. You have to read it again and revise it so that you can cover more wider aspects of the particular concept.
Got it. So now that was about the 3 subjects, and let's talk about the mock exam. Mock exam, would you write it during the class 11th and 12th, or would it be only during the last few days of the exam?
I wrote mock tests only in the revision phases during the class 12th, and just I think a month before the exam I started to write a number of mock tests.
Okay. So what were the initial scores in mock test?
In the initial scores, I used to get around 650s or 660s, just because I was not used to the pattern of full portions, because that was the first test that you are appearing for that contains the whole portions of NEET. So initially it was a little bit of difficult for me, but it was not that of a big task because I had practiced a lot of tests throughout the 2 years. So it was not that of a big task. Just in the first few tests, I scored around 650s or 660s, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So this was also during the phase when you were revising your topics that were left out, like the ones that was a backlog. So was it any hindrance during the exam, or did you find any challenge to study them as well during the mock test?
Definitely, because as I have told, I had a lot of backlogs from the 11th, and the majority of that I covered it in the 12th revision. So in the mock tests that were given, definitely I felt that there was something missing out. I was missing out some particular concept. So I was not that worried about that, because again you cannot know which question is coming from which concept. So what I was focused on is my errors only, whatever errors that I made in the mock tests. So I used to go and go to that and just read it properly. Again, you cannot so preparation for mock test, in the sense you cannot read the full content. So I felt that was the key. So you have to do error analysis. That is a major thing that helped me to cover my backlogs.
Okay. So what were the errors that you usually used to do during mock test?
The errors that I do are basically either from in biology. It's either if suppose I forgot a statement that is given in NCERT and the exact statement is asked as a question, I would definitely miss out that question. So which I would go and cover in the NCERT. I would read it again.
Okay.
As part of physics, it can be a few conceptual questions were also asked. I was not focusing that much on conceptual questions in the initial days, but I later realized the importance of them by these mock tests only. So I started reading the physics NCERT as well. I was reading them to get a hold of the concepts. So these were the questions that I was making mistakes in the initial phase.
Okay. And what about chemistry?
Yeah, in chemistry, like organic chemistry was not, I was not making that much of mistakes. Inorganic chemistry, again, I tend to forget it frequently. So that was a major mistake that I made in the mock test. So inorganic chemistry, remembering the trends and all that stuff, so I focused on that also in the revision program.
Okay. So basically you understood like where were the points that you made mistakes, and based on that you would go and revise those particular subjects.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. So let's talk about the current stage right now. Now we are in the month of October, and the exam will be like somewhere in 9 months from right now. So what were you doing during your class 12th October month, and how did you cope up for the next few months of the exam?
So in the October, so if it's 9 months before the exam, I was currently focusing on my weekend portions, whatever weekend portions were there, and for me the syllabus was completed by December. So before that, I used to focus only on the weekend portions that were given, and if time permits, I would cover some of my backlogs which I left in 11th.
Okay.
So that was a major thing I was doing. Like my target was like at that point of time, my target was not NEET. It was my definitely my target is NEET, but to fulfill the NEET target, I have to get a good amount of score in the weekend tests as well. So I was focusing on the preparation of the weekend tests.
Okay.
So yeah, that
was your basic strategy, like not to focus on the larger goal. That was the larger goal, but the shorter goal was to score well in the weekend test.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, like by December your syllabus was over, and then from January onwards till March, did you revise all the subjects again, like all the topics again?
Yeah. So the revision that was given was in such a way that the entire NEET syllabus was covered 2-3 times.
Okay.
So yeah, I just followed the schedule and I did my work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, how many times did you study NCERT, like overall complete book?
So coming to biology, I studied the whole book maybe 3-4 times each chapter. I would have studied for 4-5 times. I think I would have again and again read the entire chapter.
Okay.
In case of inorganic chemistry, again the same. I think 3 to 4 to 5 times I took read the NCERT. Physics, I read NCERT once completely, and the second time I read just focused on some important aspects. Conceptual parts.
And rest was complete revision of the numericals.
Yeah, numericals.
Right. Okay. So that was about the January to March, and then you started giving your mock test.
Yeah.
And then so totally how many mock tests did you attempt?
Mock tests, in a sense, whatever was given, I think nearly 25 to 30 grand tests I would have written. Apart from that, a lot of other online mock tests also have appeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, grand test and the online mock test, and also the weekend test on like subject-wise test.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now let's talk about the last few months of the exam. And so how was your mentality? Were you like tensed, or were you calm enough that you knew that you would score well in the final exam?
In the initial days of the revision program, just 2-3 months before the exam, I was a little bit of anxiety was there. So whatever 2 years that I have completely is going to be focused on the 3 hours of the NEET paper. So I was a little bit of anxious, a little bit of stress was definitely there for me because, even if something goes wrong in the final exam, the entire 2 year was a waste, I thought. Then as I was writing a lot of mock tests that were given, even my teachers, they have told that you should not be result oriented. Basically that is the key. If you are result oriented, again that is a burden to you that will constantly come during your exam as well, and constantly hinder your paper attempting time.
Performance.
So yeah, performance. If you are going to exam, you have to go with an open mind. Just whatever you know, you are going to execute it in the exam, final exam. You have to not be result oriented. So that's what I realized, and also my teachers, they had suggested it, and that I think is a very good thing to.
Okay. Got it. So now let's talk about the exam day, like one week before the exam. Were you revising all the subjects together, and you were like in a tense mode, like what should I study, what should I leave, what have I left, and these are my important points, or like these are my weak subjects but I haven't studied it yet. So what was the phase during the last week of the exam?
Yeah, so during the last week of the exam, I felt that there was a more time to be given to a lot of volatile subjects like biology and inorganic chemistry. Physics I had not focused that much because they are basically numeric based, and whatever, if you had, I had practiced during these 2 years, and there's nothing to forget in physics apart from the concepts. So I focused a lot on biology and inorganic chemistry, like reading the areas where I felt I was lagging a bit. So okay. I just focused on those areas, not worrying about the other thing. Definitely I didn't do the whole preparation for NEET. I didn't cover the entire syllabus before the week. So I just focused on areas where I was weak in.
Okay. Okay, so that's about the last few weeks or last week of the exam. Now let's talk about the exam day strategy. Like, did you attempt biology first, chemistry and physics like everyone does, or was there any change in your strategy?
Yeah, I attempted biology first, chemistry and then physics.
Okay, so how much time did you take to attempt biology? Like in terms of the time division, what was the time for biology and then chemistry, physics?
Biology, I had completed the biology portion, both botany and zoology included. I had completed in 35 minutes, I guess.
The first round of
yeah. And chemistry, coming to chemistry, I took a little bit of time to do chemistry, especially the statement based and questions kind of stuff. I took, I think, 40 minutes for completing chemistry.
Okay.
And physics, since it was easier, a little bit of easier basic questions were asked this time, I took a little bit of 30 to 35 minutes to complete.
Okay.
Physics.
So within like 100 minutes you were clear with all the 3 subjects.
Yeah.
And then did you do multiple checking as well in terms of the answers?
Yeah. In physics, I just solved the entire physics section again, just to verify if there was any calculation or any mistake in my calculations. So just I solved the physics once again. Biology, like I used to do the bubbling at last. So simultaneously in the second phase, when I'm going through the paper again, I used to verify whether whatever written is correct, and I used to bubble it. So biology, it was simultaneous, and chemistry also, it's similar to like biology only.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. So let's talk about the time management during the exam. Now, how did you manage your time? And it's not easy to give the answers so quickly just by doing the mock test at the last 2-3 months of the exam.
Yeah.
So how did you do the time management during your whole preparation?
Again, so the weekly tests that I have written, so they have helped me a lot, to manage time. In the initial days, I was not completing the entire paper. I used to neglect some portion of physics just because there was not enough time to do that. So gradually, like throughout the 2 years, I wrote a lot of tests. I mean, if you are writing this much number of tests, automatically you can get accustomed to the time.
Speed.
Yeah, improve your speed and get accustomed to the time. And even you can, even I shaped my time allotment for each subject according to my own comfort, so that, like suppose biology, it's a lot of theory based, so you can definitely do it a little bit quickly, and physics requires calculation, so you have to have a check over that also. So I strategized the time in such a way that I would minimize my errors.
Okay, got it. Now let's talk about the result day. So how was the environment, and did you get to know the result by yourself, or did anyone tell you about your result?
So the result day, since the results was released in the midnight, I think 11:30, I think results was released. I was sleeping, like I had not stay woken. So when the results came out, my principal from my campus, he just called me and he told that you have secured 8th rank. So I was not I was half dozed, half awakened. I was not knowing what he was saying as well. But after some time, I realized that okay. So the thing is that I was a little bit sure that I would get 17. So based on the keys that were released from a lot of coaching, they had released the key. So and I checked with my OMR. So I was getting 17, but I did not expect the rank, because last year, if you see, the rank is like 53 for 17, some 50, all India rank 50 is there. This time it has decreased drastically just because the competition, I think, has decreased. So I was not expecting the rank. The rank was a very big surprise to me. Yeah.
Okay. And so how were your parents and your family feeling about it?
Yeah, they were feeling very excited in the initial days after the result. Like they were just sharing with all the relatives and all the friends. They had wished me, and they were so happy. And even I was happy to get a lot of support from them as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
So how did they support you during your whole preparation, like for about 2 years?
So during the preparation, in between, my preparation was kind of ups and downs. It had a lot of ups and downs. Like based on the results that I was expecting from my weekly tests, a lot of ups and downs was there. Sometime I would score like 650s, and sometime it would drop to even 500s as well.
Okay.
So in those times, they basically I was staying in hostel, so a lot of parent support, they were not there always, but whenever I felt that I was not able to perform well, they used to come from their home, they used to visit me, and they used to give a lot of guidance, support. I mean, they just told to be casual and just the way you are. They motivated me a lot, and the teachers also, they had really supported a lot. They have given a lot of good strategies in this aspect. So all of this I had learnt a lot from them. Apart from the NEET syllabus, a lot of other aspects I have learned from my teachers and my parents. So definitely they are a very good support.
That's wonderful. So we spoke a lot about the exam part and we spoke about the preparation as well. One important part I would like to ask is that a lot of people do mistakes during the whole preparation. So what were the major mistakes that you did during your preparation and the ones that other people should not do?
So the major mistakes, in a sense, in the questions, in the weekly test that.
So completely, in terms of understanding the concepts, in terms of reading the NCERT book as well.
Yeah.
So everything included.
So the major mistake was again, if you are skipping a particular concept, I used to. Like in the initial years, I used to prioritize some things. I used to focus more on some topics that I felt was more important and neglect some things that were less important according to me. So I ended up doing a lot of mistakes in the exam. Like in biology, I used to skip some paragraphs or something like that. So definitely questions can be asked from that as well. So I did a lot of small mistakes in that, and a lot of mistakes in the paper as well, as such that there are the questions like you have to read the question properly. So I used to do a lot of mistakes in figuring out whether the question whether are they expecting the incorrect or the correct statement, or some questions may be how many of the statements are false or how many of the statements are true. So I used to miss out the keyword which is incorrect or correct or true or false or something like that, and I ended up doing a lot of mistakes which costed me a lot of marks in my mock test. And so I trained to underline and also focus on the more important part of the question, and again revise the question again, so that you get a whole the chances of doing error are very less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was about the mistakes part.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to a very fun part of, we spoke about the exam and all. So let's move on to the fun part. I'll ask you a couple of questions and you'll have to respond to me in a rapid manner.
Yeah.
So let's start with the rapid fire round.
Yeah.
So I have the first question. What's your favorite sport?
Basketball.
And your favorite player?
MS Dhoni.
MS Dhoni, cricket.
Yeah,
okay.
cricket.
Now, what is something that you learned this year? Any new thing that you learned this year?
Okay, I learned to play chess quite well.
Okay, okay. And so let's say that if you had to go to a particular place for a holiday, which place would that be?
I think Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay. And any particular food that you would never give up?
Dosa.
Okay. So what's the most important thing that you own?
I think my tab.
Okay. You can't live that without that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that completes the rapid fire round. So we have a small gift of hamper from team Chamomile Tea Toppers.
Thank you so much.
So you can place it. So that brings us to the end of this episode. So I would like you to tag one other topper that you think can come here and share their story and their strategies as well.
Yeah.
So who would that be?
I think Vishal Balamurugan. He has got already ranked 96.
Okay.
Yeah, I would tag him to this show.
Great. So that's great. We will have him on the show as well. So I would like you to give a message to all the aspirants, those who are preparing for 2023 and 2024.
So just the motivation that I would like to give is just believe in yourself. Definitely a lot of members have achieved a good result in NEET. So definitely even you can. Everyone has the potential to do it. The thing is they have to practice without giving up. So I would say just don't give up in between your phases. Just believe in yourself and go with the current syllabus, whatever you're practicing. It definitely adds up to a very good result, I guess.
That's great. So thank you so much for that message. I'm sure aspirants have taken a lot of pointers from this particular video, and your strategies for each and every subject were very detailed as well, and I'm sure they will have a very good time watching this video, and also they will take away some important points from this video. So I wish you all the good luck for your future, and stay tuned. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.